It is what it is. But I'm happy we're here though. End of year special.
Yeah.
Long overdue in terms of us being together.
Yeah,
so I want us to talk up the things. I think it's probably good. Should we start with music? Albums of the year?
Yeah.
Don't sound too excited, guys.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
I mean,
Let's go for it, guys.
Yeah.
Woo, woo, woo,
Yep.
Hey, getting passionate out of band.
Yep.
Like drawing blood from a stone. Look,
His level was the same.
bro,
like,
he's
what
so.
talking
He's
about.
like, yeah. I mean,
I loved it.
I
So
wouldn't mind,
excited.
you know.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great.
Nah, I'm looking forward to it, man. Let's go. Let's go. You know music is my thing.
No, I'm with you. Off top, before I grab my phone, Dave's album's in there for me.
Yeah.
We're all learning this together.
Have you got a list ready?
Yeah, I did make a list. You know, let me actually pull that rather than trying to go off the dome. All right, cool. So Dave, we're all learning this together. Gets conflict of interest.
Absolutely.
Little Sims, sometimes I might be introvert.
Yep.
Pot of Paper, thanks for waiting.
Mm-hmm.
Cleo Soul, Mother.
Yep.
K-Trap, Trapo.
Okay.
Is it Berwin or Berwine? I don't know. Berwin, there we go. Tape 2, Foam Hats, if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Yeah.
Jevon, Fell in Love in Brazil.
Was that?
That was this year.
This year, yeah.
Early part of this year. Jasmine Sullivan, Hotels.
Yeah.
Children of Zeus, Balance.
Yep.
There were a few other little projects, but those are the ones that I generally have been listening to and going back to, innit? So there'll be special mentions here or there as well. Certain little projects and pieces. Like, actually, no. Thames' project, I think what it's called, it's only like 4 or 5 songs long.
Summer Walker for me, still over it.
Fair.
I think that's up there for me. I thought that was a great album.
Have you got a list, H? Or are you just trying to go off the top
No,
of what
I'm
you've been
trying to
listening
think right now who stood out.
Tyler
it's
the
easy
Creator.
to kind of go to
Tyler
like
the
Spotify
Creator.
what you've been listening to. Sorry, Tyler the Creator Vans.
Tyler the Creator's album was cold. Call Me If You Get Lost. I fuck with that one.
We had some suggestions from some of our listeners as well. Young Blues album.
Yeah. He's got an EP out at the moment, actually.
Yeah. We even go to off the cuff page.
He had a couple hits on there. Who else, man? Who else dropped this year?
What do you not think about Adele's album?
It was cool. It was cool, man. I gave it one listen. There was one song on there that I really liked. But I forgot the name of it.
I was waiting for
Yeah. Sorry.
And that's what it was. If Orange Was a Place, from Thames. Planet Her, Doja Cat. That was one. That was one. A few of our listeners was mentioning. Were mentioning.
Yep. I fucks with Doja. She's hard.
So what is she? A singer? A rapper?
Both.
Kind of
a hybrid.
One of those ones.
Yeah. I think she does both well.
She does, bro. She could actually really talk to the rap girls if she really wanted to.
She's a proper artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, the song that I was talking about is My Little Love. Is on Adele's album that I really liked.
My heart.
Yeah. What's on your Spotify or your Apple? What you've been listening to the most this year?
They got Chrissy's face.
Don't have PTSD.
I'm just gonna.
There was a listener.
I'm not talking about.
There was a listener from last episode that said they stand with you.
Yeah, that's
with regards to Hosier. They think the song slaps.
Sorry, it was made in Lagos in 2021 or 2020.
2020.
Yeah, 2020. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's been consistent.
But then you can put it in there because of how.
Nah, you can't, man.
But that's like I think a couple. I remember a couple years ago we sat here recording, and Roddy Rich's album came out towards the back end of the year. But that album was so cold it bled over into the following year, and you could argue.
I mean,
if stuff comes out like November, December.
Yeah, maybe for like maybe some sort of award or something. But in
just
terms of our conversation,
just because it's not in the year. I hear you.
October 2020.
Yeah, no, that's 2020.
I mean, it was really inside the house as well last year as well, wasn't it? So
yeah,
that's 2020. We can't even argue that. The date's right there, bro. Typical nigga, man, gonna try and find a way to work the angles and that.
Yeah, because it was towards the tail end, didn't it? Like, so we can.
Because I went November, December. I should have said like October, November. Yeah, those are my albums. Those are my albums that I've consistently.
What was their album that you was most anticipating for this year?
Probably Dave's just because of my rap bias and UK.
Yeah. I think that was anticipated still.
And then you know what? Yeah, culmination of things. We love R&B.
Mm-hmm.
We rate Summer Walker. We had that conversation. I don't know what episode it was. We had everyone. It might have been episode 300. We was having that debate with Essie, if I'm right. Just sat on the sofa where everyone was.
What was the debate?
Just about R&B and who was bigger out of Summer Walker and SZA, if I remember correctly. I think me, you and her were debating. And he was sat in the corner. So yeah, when it was obvious someone was going to drop, I was like not too far behind me being anticipating Dave's. I was like, yeah, I really want to hear the Summer Walker album. And then all the stuff that's going on in her real life, because she's very open about all her troubles on social media. So like we unfortunately like that kind of pain in your music. So I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know she's gonna say all that stuff on the album, talking about being the fourth baby mama and all that stuff. But I was like, yeah, I want to hear this album, innit? And she didn't disappoint. I think she released a really good album. So
Yeah,
definitely Dave's, and like closely followed by Summer Walker in terms of anticipation.
Yeah. Who else dropped it this year, man?
We got Fredo dropping twice, and
Yeah.
I think he gave a good account of himself.
Yeah, I agree. He dropped a cold freestyle. He dropped I think the first project was the one that was executive produced by
That
Dave,
was one. That's
right?
one that's got like What Can I Say on there and
Money Talks.
Money Talks. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we reviewed that. I think that was a decent attempt. But yeah, having two in here. Obviously, everyone kind of had a year off with 2020, so you don't know when some of the stuff's recorded. But the fact we got you that active
Yeah.
and stepping up in like all the other stuff surrounding it, stepping up business wise with Kick Game and kind of just turn it. And I'm sure the next project's going to be independent, because the last project was called Independence Day. You're basically telling us you're done now, innit? Like,
Yeah.
giving in your last obligation with the label.
We had Drake drop. Actually, J. Cole dropped first this year.
Yeah.
Was that this year?
Off season, yeah.
Fucking hell.
Me, one of my favorite albums of the year.
We didn't even mention it, any of us as well, you know.
What, Off season?
Yeah. So when we were saying giving on our albums, but yeah,
Yeah.
I love that song in there with Moray.
Yeah. And 21 Savage.
Yeah.
There was quite a few cuts on there that I'm like, yo, this is a good project. And it was funny because I was watching his Rolling Loud set the other day, and he's a proper performer. Like, you forget sometimes. Like, his breath control was nuts. Every bar, like, he didn't miss. Like,
And did he do any of the give it to the crowd, the mic stuff where you got to work for him?
Nah, like,
I hate that shit.
It's clear that
I paid
like,
my money, now I've got to sing the stuff, bruv.
But
Allow me, man.
It's mad because it's clear that like he headlined that festival, because obviously there's like various different artists that come before him and stuff, like, so you never really know, especially in this climate, like who people are there to see, like,
Yeah.
because there could be like a super popular rapper at the time that could dominate a section of the festival more so than a headliner.
Someone's got a really big song at the time.
Yeah, bro, like he commanded that perfectly, like it was his own show.
That's good to see, man.
Do you know what I'm saying?
It's
Like,
season at this point, isn't it? So
yeah, like off season, he brought in some of the Dreamville lot. So
that's one of them, man.
yeah, so I think like with J. Cole's album, it was the first album where it wasn't solely produced by him, and I think that was a big factor in how the album was gonna sound.
Was he also the first one to drop out of like the big 3 or 5 as well?
Yeah. He went first.
Yeah.
I think it was like one of them things where like Drake was supposed to drop first. There was anticipation.
Drake was
like,
supposed to drop in February, no?
yeah, there was anticipation.
Even,
like
wasn't even that a pushback one? It was meant to even drop even before that.
I think so.
Yeah.
well, this is it, because he had the anticipation, like where Cole was like working quietly, so we didn't even know that he was gonna drop. But then he just came out and said, "Yo, my thing's coming out at this point," and we're like, "Oh shit, he is coming first." And then he is switching it up a little bit. Like we heard different types of beats, and it forced him to rap in a way that he's rapped, where he hasn't previously showed it. Like KOD wasn't a great album for me, neither was For Your Eyes Only. I know that some people might say like, oh yeah, it was, but off season it was like, rah, he's rapping like he's got a point to prove again, or like he's just cementing his status.
Because people like you said the album wasn't good. That's what happens, isn't it? You know.
For sure.
But like, I don't mind like you having, when you have multiple albums,
Yeah.
there's gonna be a few that's like, even like people like Drake, like not everyone's gonna vouch for every album.
No, it's impossible.
There's always that debate where whether even if Drake has a classic or not.
He does.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's an ongoing question.
Yeah, I've revised my take on that, and my stance is, if he's got a classic, it's Take Care or Nothing was the same.
Like, see, I thought it was Take Care. Yeah, I thought it was.
I used to be running with that.
Go back to Take
and I
Care,
went-
like it's not Take Care.
That's what it was. I always ran with that because I think that was probably the perfect blend between his music, between his the rapping and singing stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously heavy Weekend influence. The rumor is that's actually Weekend's album. And Drake said, "Give me that in it." So I went back and listened, saying what Vans to his point, and I went back and listened. Nothing was the same. I'm like, it's nothing was the same for me.
No. So for me, it was Nothing was the same. But then I realized recently, yeah, even though it's got a massive asterisk next to it, not that. If you're reading, it's too late.
Yeah, that's probably even aged better than Take Care.
If you go back and listen, like,
Is that the one that starts with Legend?
yeah,
That's cool. That shit.
if you just, and forget even talking about
it was
just go listen
criticized
to
when it dropped. It was
Bruv.
criticized when it dropped.
It's probably aged the best.
Mm.
Like it's
Yeah, because
mental.
some of Drake's like crooning, kind of like borderline simpy songs, yeah, I can't put that shit on. Not in public, you know, like Marvin's Room and the bro, you can't play that shit. So this is what you're saying. Some of that stuff might not have aged as well as like the stuff when if you're reading this, innit? So, but thing is, like, especially now, yeah, and it's like good to having this music chat. Bro, I'm at I think like the most level place I've been in music conversations. Everything's subjective, bro. I have my opinion. I'll stand on it. If you want to push back a little, we can have a little bit of debate. For the most part, that's it. If you say what's my top 5, that's it. I don't have to now show you CDs from like flipping 10 years ago when I was really out. No. I like this. What I like. This is why I like this person. This is why they're my top 5, innit?
Yeah,
It's super subjective, bro.
Foles
Kanye
says this
dropped-
until we bring up fucking 50 Cent and then he loses his head.
Even that, I'm done with. Because if 50 has a verse with Jay-Z, he's getting smoked. It's all context, bro.
yeah.
Bro, he's gonna pick like Patiently Waiting. He's gonna pick songs with Eminem and that. He's gonna pick like Ayo Technology and Jay-Z's gonna smoke him. So the only person he's probably gonna smoke here, and I only stand by it off like the Gucci and Jeezy vibes, is Rick Ross. But musically, you probably lose that as well. Because certain people like narrative and context is they live in their own world and they're gonna pick a poor selection.
No, I don't think 50 would lose.
And I
I'm
know
not
why
gonna
his selection process will be bad.
Why? Bro, he's a strategic man, bro. He's proved.
He is,
Very
but
well.
like, who's Ryan's gonna tell him anything? Is Tony Ain't gonna say like, "I'll move number 8 and make it number 14"? He ain't listen to them niggas. Like, no, bro. Same thing with the whole like maybe a decent segue. We can get back to it with the whole Jay-Z thing about like who could possibly beat him. I feel like Lil Wayne or Drake, more Drake and Kanye, but Lil Wayne will be interesting. But to what I'm saying about 50, someone like a Lil Wayne is gonna have a horrific selection. He's 20 against Jay-Z. He's gonna pick some stuff like
Lil Wayne.
like, why did you pick this?
Nah,
bro?
I wouldn't trust Lil Wayne picking his 20.
That's what I'm saying. Certain people is like, nah, bro.
I trust 50 to pick his. I won't trust.
I missed the
Weezy.
segue. Like how we got to.
No, because I was talking
don't
about
know.
50, possibly like someone like him, because he's asking me like, oh, you're saying your level and stuff, but if you talk about 50, you're gonna lose your head, innit?
Oh,
And then he went straight into verses mode.
Yeah.
nah.
Just to the point of like,
But I don't think so though, because like your opinion of like whether like music is subjective, yeah, but like sometimes certain people's opinions hold weight. That's why there's a lot of people that like go to certain people for their takes on certain things. So like if you can judge like an album, or like you can analyze an album like in a way that it makes sense, people can also like actually hold on, like, right, what he's saying holds weight to it. Like, this is why an album is, or this is why I place this album here, because like whether like we can admit it or not, like there's that popularity bias where like we have to speak about like the big albums.
Oh, yeah,
Drake drops,
yeah.
we have to speak about it.
Content-wise,
we can't ignore it.
Yeah, you'd be
Like,
guilty of having like if you have a chat on here and like.
do you know what I'm
you
saying?
ignore a
Like,
Drake album.
you've got like Kanye who dropped this year as
Yeah.
well. It's a discussion because like, you know, that he's Kanye first of all, and then there's this big marketing run where like he's in a stadium, like still making the album after a listening party of the album.
They're big moments in the culture. You're not going to ignore them, innit? So that just is what it is. And
Yeah.
you speak about those people, but also we are fans of these people as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So because it won't just be because it's the talk, because it you know it is when you have that approach to the music conversation, you will hear it that people don't really care about what they're talking about when it's just purely okay, cool. Let's talk about this because it's the big thing that's happening right now. We've had some of them some of them like dating conversations. Man, don't really care about it that much. It's entertaining because it's online for the moment. We'll have a little 10-minute conversation about it, but like when we get into our bag, you can hear what man really cares about, innit? So adding that with the fact that he's a big artist, yeah, you can't ignore that. You're going to talk about that stuff, innit? So, and
yeah, man. Like,
go on.
I don't know, like if because there's been a few years like where some people at the time would be like, oh yeah, it was a year where not many good albums dropped, but then when you actually look back, you're like, oh, hold on, like all these albums dropped on this year. Yeah, it was lit. Like I think 2021, like we've had enough good projects to kind of look back and say it's been a decent year. Yeah,
when you tally it all up, I was worried a little point was like it just felt like the R&B lot were doing their thing.
Yeah,
Stateside and over here. And
Tiana Major 9 dropped this year as well at 6 and 7s. That was a great EP. Jack James Joyride EP, great EP. Tamira Aphrodite, great EP. Like,
who's the Conrad guy? That was at an old project.
Destin Conrad, Callaway, yeah. That dropped this year, amazing as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so
that's what I'm saying. Like those guys were holding it down, innit? But I just felt like all the say Drake was meant to have dropped in Feb, and if my memory serves me correct, I think that was even pushed back. He didn't drop. He dropped a latter part of the year. J. Cole dropped, but he did his thing. Kanye pushed back. He dropped when he dropped. Even over here, we got Dave. We ain't had a project from Stormzy this year. We got the project from Potter Paper, which wasn't an album, but I was actually anticipating an album after Training Day 3 because like he was meant to building, but he's freshly signed. Maybe they're trying to wait for next year, innit? Fred is a big artist. We got 2 from him. No J Huss.
J Huss does what he wants, man.
But what I'm saying is like I think we're a little bit starved over here. The stuff that was dropped was for the ones we've spoken about were good, innit?
He was complaining about some label issues, so I think that's what's stopping it at the moment. But
and then we got stuff from Heady that we spoke about. We weren't overly too keen on.
Yeah,
you know. So over here, I think it's been a little quiet for the big boys. I'm sure there's a lot of other artists that maybe a bit further down the spectrum that they've dropped as well. Maybe some of them people kind of flown under the radar. But to your point about the bigger artists and like the ones that kind of dictate and move culture and conversation.
Yeah, I mean like people like Sims, like she's getting all her flowers, all her accolades like at the moment, and rightly so. You know, an amazing project and a short film. I don't know if you've caught it.
No, I saw it.
I ain't seen it, but her album's called though.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying?
She did 3 nights at Brixton, bro.
She did. She's
Free,
the first.
bro.
She's the first woman to do 3 nights in a row at Brixton.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see the caliber of men that have done 3.
Yeah,
because it's one thing to give her the one woman accolade. I'll laugh if it's only maybe like 4 or 5 dons that have done one.
And do you know what? Yeah, like I think like in this climate, everyone just acknowledges the O2, and I think it's wrong. Like doing shit like Brixton, is a big feat in itself.
It's like 5,000.
Yeah, that's a big venue. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's not no venue where you can banter. Like there's not that many artists in the UK that can do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like to some people, 5,000 is a small number, but getting 5,000 people to pay to come out and spend their time watching you. Oh, bro, like even pre-pandemic as well. Like getting someone out of the house to come and see you is a big feat in itself. So like, not everyone that streams your music is gonna come and see you.
True.
They're just not gonna do it. Do you know what I mean? Like so. Brixton is something, and to do 3 nights, that's amazing.
Sure,
That's amazing. Like.
That's cool.
And the album's cold as well, and it's in the conversation. Do you think we are maybe ignoring her a little bit with the rapper of the year convo? Can she be in there?
100%.
Like, bro, like she should 100% be in there.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because she's a rapper and she's dropped one of the best this year.
But you should look at it as purely a rap because it's a very musical project.
She's a rapper, bro.
Yeah, but she's a rapper.
But him and you know, like some like you know what I'm speaking to.
Oh yeah.
The individual's a rapper.
Yeah.
It isn't just a rap heavy project, innit? Like you've got different sounds on there. When I'm getting strings, right? When I'm getting guitar, I'm getting trumpets. There's a lot of musicality. Not saying that takes away from the rapping, but it isn't just like a stripped back where it's just purely about bars and that. So
yeah.
and
I can
then
see why people can get lost in that way.
and then unfortunately as well, it all depends on how you view things. Having an amazing album or project throughout the year, cold as well. But I also look at output, and then did you spar with other rappers? And there might be context. Maybe man are.
In what context when you say did she spar?
Are you bodying features?
What on the
Okay.
album?
No, as
You
in
mean in
outside.
general?
In general, are you bodying features? Are you doing what other stuff? Are you like? Okay, because when we spoke about like promo prep for an album, did you go and do a daily duppy and mad about bars or fire in a booth? Did you have a guest verses with other people on Spaz and like tear the head off on there? Did you do like loose single drops yourself outside of your album? I think that's what I'm talking about in regards to output, innit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I
think those things also factor in when I'm saying like rap here, because I've seen that conversation brewing.
And this is why I credit Dave, like in terms of like, you know, if you're gonna put him in that category, like for this year, obviously he dropped the album, and he's got a song with a couple rappers that are really going for it. Like, so you're putting yourself to the test at the same time. Like when it's album time, and you're Dave, like so. Any rapper that you invite to come and do a song, especially like this, they're gonna give you like the best 16 that they have at that moment.
Bro, a lot of people like
in the fire, like it's a debate who has the best verse.
Bro,
Yes.
It's not get bro. I uplift my baby like Swayze in the water. Like, come on, bro. But
I hear you.
I've heard a lot of people say Fredo went in as well.
Nah, he went.
No, what also
he went
is a
in
combination of like they were surprised to hear him like that. Because Donny was going in, bro. But I think he's like, yo, I'm on this track with these guys. I can't play in it.
Gigs as well. Like I've been critical of like his output on verses, but he delivered a decent verse on that.
Yeah.
I had no issues with that verse.
But then did we get much from Dave outside of the album? Because I was kind of talking to him.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't think about that when you said it before. But in terms of rapper of the year, just you might even have album of the year, but that might not necessarily
because they don't always correlate.
Yeah, he hasn't like really been out featuring like, you know, we want to test your form as well, like outside of you being in album mode. Like that's where like a lot of certain man get the most respect. Like
when Cole
if we're talking like, you know, the biggest rappers like in America, we've had rappers that like have had their run, although they're doing their thing, they're jumping on features and they're killing it and everyone's talking about it. Wayne, we've seen it with Wayne, we've seen it with Drake, we've seen it with Jay as well, like, you know, like where you're just hot, you have to jump on other people's shit as well as yours to like be that well-rounded Don. So then you can be added to a versus conversation because you can string out your features as well.
Yeah. Body of work will always be to the top end of the list.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the output thing for me is key.
But you're a rapper, innit? We want to see you on other shit.
Yeah. So, because when I look in like our landscape here, I saw there was 2 platforms I saw recently. So Champions League of Everything, which is on JD, with Chucky, Mimi, Taser, Margs. I hope I'm not missing anyone else. And then we had the Complex UK, which was presented by Nada. Cyan Anderson, who was on here last week, was on there. Yeah, JP, I think JP or Jay Patterson, who's a writer. You had Maybe the music blogger again. You had Fumes Engineer and our Dark Scully as well. Yeah. So there were some names that like were popping up consistently. So like your Daves, your Sims, your Central C's, your Tion Waynes, Gets, Fredo, Digga D's. And my thing is, if we're in like a quiet year musically worldwide because of the pandemic and bigger artists are kind of waiting and trying to figure out when they're going to release, it just can't be project, innit? Because rapidly I want to hear like have you really spazzed that much?
What have you done?
Yeah,
Other
what have
than
you done?
Just work on that.
You know, and the thing with like even with the Dave example, In the Fire is great. It's on the album as well, and those moments like Haich gonna test this if I'm right or wrong. Yeah, they're probably a lot more packaged than we'd give them credit for in terms of like, this is what I want you to do. This is the format, and when it's your thing, you get all those verses, and you can go and like,
Yeah, no, I heard certain man's verses were cut short.
Yeah, you can go in there and rewrite your verse,
Yeah.
or you can then be inspired by stuff and like you have okay, cool, that's the level everyone's going for. Let me go crazy, you know, type of thing in it. So
was Fraser T. Smith involved?
Relax, bro. Your Fraser T. Smith agenda's hilarious, bro. Consistent, but hilarious.
So, no, I hear it, like, but yeah, it's an album. He's a number one artist.
But he did like 70. I think they said it's the biggest first week number since Tiny Temper. So
yeah,
we don't always like to lean to numbers, but it is what it is. Someone like a Tion Wayne can
it has to be packaged a certain way.
Tion can have an argument, but then what he has as asterisks against him is the album didn't deliver for me.
Yeah.
Homecoming on the album was good. I love the song with Black. He tried to kind of do his own In the Fire moment, which I think was nice, with Joe Black, Scorcher.
Yeah.
You know, I think Rimsey.
Yeah.
Pot of Paper as well. They were rapping on there, innit?
Yeah.
And that's always a good indicator of like how people gauge and judge people by who they get on there when it's time to just rap. When it's not time to push for the trendy sound right now, which might be Afro beats or Afro inspired whatever, or go for drill. If we're trying to strip back and people just want to hear bars, you'll see consistent names pop up like a Pot of Paper. People are always going to go for a Gets, a Dave. So those are the markers of who's really the guys. Whether we've got to see enough throughout the year, but those are the indicators, isn't it? So I don't know if we.
So who would your rapper of the year be for over here, domestically?
Pot of Paper, Dave. I'll probably the top two.
Yeah. Probably be Potter for me. Maybe.
But it's weird. They both have the same thing where it's like project each, and then we're just kind of gauging it on their guest first hero there on albums.
Yeah, 2-2 feature Potter's done.
Yeah.
And Gets in that bracket.
Gets will be in that bracket.
Gets will be in that bracket. Yeah.
Oh man, slapped.
Yeah.
Bare guest verses.
Yeah.
And then he's got, like I said, he's arguably got the best verse on In the Fire. So if we're engaging it on like their guest
and he's
verses,
got like didn't he have like a fire in the booth in the desert and that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been doing that,
done
like
all the stuff.
Yeah, he's been doing stuff. He's been doing like rap stuff, like where, you know, we're like, all right, cool, man. Like he's fit like all the criteria.
He ticked every box.
Yeah, he ticks all the boxes.
Yeah, the only thing is he was in album mode for the year, so we didn't get much extra stuff outside the album.
I feel like we did.
We actually didn't.
Not from him, but as in
it was the fire in the booth. It was the verse on.
When did he drop that Mad About Bars? Was that this year or last year?
That was last year. So this what it is, yeah. The last album was the Ghetto Gospel New Testament. So not the King James version, the King Justin version. Still KJV, but the updated King Justin version, yeah.
I hear that.
And in that space between now and then, we got the Listen, which is on the Top Boy soundtrack. You remember the song Listen, where he's in the shower man yellow jacket outside the fish and chip shop? That Listen song is crazy. Then we get Legends Don't Die, if I remember correctly. R.I.P. Storming.
Proud Family.
We have the Proud Family. We have the Mad About Bars. We have the IC3 with Skepta. Mozambique. Shoot Off Mozambique. So when you start leading up to the album, I think some of that stuff spilled over from last year. Probably thinking it was a lot more recent than it was. But the gap between the last album, Ghetto Gospel New Testament, and this album, Conflict Interest, Gets has been having what we're talking about, the output, crazy. Because that Mad About Bars is brazy, bro.
Yeah, it
like,
was.
man don't ever leave. So even I'm just saying that maybe he's the one that man should be looking to, but it's just that the output was actually probably more 2020,
more the end of
2019, innit? But it spilled over because man still go back to that Mad About Bars now. You know, so yeah. And then the album was just, you know, he had his moment in it. So obviously won the Mobo. We was trying to push him for the number one. So it's like impact on how good the music was. Conflict Interest is a very good album. I love Hop Out on there. Absolutely love that.
Hop Out.
It gives me West Coast vibes. Yeah, bro, if someone says pot or paper or gets, I wouldn't be mad. If they say Dave, I wouldn't be mad.
Autobiography was my favorite on Conflict of Interest.
Okay. Yeah, good song. Yeah. What about you? Who do you have as your? Are you leaning to Gets for the?
I was leaning to Gets, but I was thinking that all that shit that you was talking about, not like that, but all the things.
Yeah, bro. I don't talk shit, bro.
No, all
you
the
crazy?
points-
I've been gone 1 week.
No, all the points he was making was all the back end of last year. innit?
Yeah.
So that would have been the reason why I would have picked him.
Yeah.
On top of that album and everything.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
And remember, Nan's now in a label situation. You know how those things work. Man ain't
Mm.
just gonna be friends, because this stuff can go on the album. So let's just kind of wait, innit? Even though I know someone like him we might even got a mixtape or
That man's
odd
got
couple songs here or there and stuff.
material upon material.
We got like a first. We got a debut mixtape from Millions this year.
Yeah.
Provisional
How did you feel about
license.
the project?
I liked it.
Okay.
I liked it, man. I like. I was saying in the beginning that I like Millions, but I wasn't sure how he would,
The project will sound, yeah.
Fit on a project. And Provisional License, it shut me up because I enjoyed it.
Jailbrain's crazy. I love that song.
Mobbing, amazing song. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think he's had a great year, and it was good that he dropped something this year as well. He's won an award at the Rated Awards. I think he got best video.
Okay, dope.
For Lager.
Probably know how I feel about Lager, right?
Yeah, man. So yeah, he's had a decent one. You mentioned K-Trap earlier.
Yeah. Really good project. So I remember saying earlier, H, about context and narrative, innit? So we have I think the last project from K-Trap before Trapper was Street Side Effects, with the prescription drug package on the front cover. You know how medicines come in.
Yeah.
Yes, it was that. And he was still, I don't know if he was in like a label situation, innit? So the music was a little watered down, but like not that much. But you can see they're trying to do something, innit? We take it back to the streets. We put the belly back on, because that was a whole big thing. Man, put the belly back on, and my hits up is like Maths, Warm, Triple R, like. And then even without those on the tape, the whole tape itself is solid, innit? And like for drill, outside of maybe, I think, did Digger drop a project this year as well, if I'm right? In terms of projects, probably one of the coldest drill projects this year. But he has things against him which is output. But when your project is that good as a standalone, we can't ignore it. I don't think you're clear for rapid ear conversations, but he had a very good project. For like street rap, like there's
100%. But when did that come out?
What Trapper?
Yeah,
I think come out like the middle part of the year. Bro, this year is just a lot.
Yeah, I think it did.
Yeah, it was middle part of the year. And we got introduced to, obviously there might be some people who knew who Do Road was before, but you were able to introduce us to a new artist, and they now stand alone as well. I want to see more and hear more from that person, innit? So
yeah, that song that they're on with
Young Steph.
Yeah, with Young Steph.
Triple R.
Yeah, Triple R. Do Road's verse.
Bro, it's crazy, bro.
Insane.
I said he'll kill his friend like Melly. I said, yo, chill, bro. don't do a YNW Melly, bro.
Yeah.
But no, that tape's cold. So I'm saying there's arguments in it. And then when I was watching that content from Complex and from JD, I think Mimi, the music blog, was talking about like a Central C. And
what about him?
Just in terms of arguments for rappers of the year, they were doing like the top 10 for Complex, innit? No, sorry, it was in Champions League Everything. They were talking, and that's when that clip went viral where the boys are kind of shutting it down or leaning more to a K-Trap. He's got the project, Wild West. Had a Trap Star collab. You then got output with regards to the singles. Obviously, you got a guest first, if I'm right, on DB's project.
Yeah, overseas.
And I'm trying to think what else I really heard him on guest verse wise. Obviously, Daily W, that was quite recent.
He ain't bought a project. No, he did that Wild West thing, innit?
Yeah, Wild West, innit? So, and then it's a breakout year as well, where like, if you're from this side of town, you've known who he is for a little while, but he basically kind of reinvented himself or reintroduced himself via the sound of drill and started man, that 6 for 6 is cold. Commitment Issues, that man started making a moment, innit? So like someone like him, he could arguably want to be in the conversation as well, innit? So
listen, there's a song that I always hear on the radio, Central C, I think it's called Obsessed.
Yeah.
Listen, they love it on radio. Every time I listen to the radio, that song's playing, without a doubt. Like that's like one of his like crossover songs, like Commitment Issues.
Yeah, he'll be a crossover star as well, and then you don't want to say it out loud, but look as well plays a factor and plays a part in it. So
it's entertainment,
yeah,
that's how it goes.
So yeah, but it's still very much down to the bars and how good the music is. But numbers sometimes bleed over as well if you haven't got the extras, because like Tion Wayne, moments, innit?
I don't listen to Central C like that at all. So
yeah, that isn't something I go to for rap, but I recognise his impact over the year, innit?
He can rap though.
I can hear it.
Like he can actually like.
But like I'm always a bit guarded when it's very clear what you're doing. You're spinning a new sound, and you're going to transition from this very quickly. I can already see it. We're not going to get too much more draw from him. I don't think he's going to stay in that space too long.
I hear that.
Because man already crossed over. He's got no jumpers.